Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Forgot to test everything. Better do that. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. That would be useful, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's all working. It's all good. It's all good. Welcome. Good morning to Friday. Again, where are we now? 3/4 of the way through July. This year, it's gone. Today in Hampshire, it is hot. Very hot. Too hot. See, I'm British. I'm allowed to complain about the weather. I complain when it rains, and I complain when it's too hot. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Jackie. As always, do please pop a hello in the comments if you're watching. Good morning, Claire. Good evening, Sephora. It is very, very warm out there this morning. Eric's been out and sunbathed for about 2 seconds and come back in. It's even too warm for him, so it must be hot. Good morning, Emma. Love your outfit. Thank you, Emma. It's nice to be able to wear a sundress. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Oh, voice is going already. Done a lot of talking this week. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jalala. Also hot Normandy. Just across the water, not far. Jackie, 21 at the moment, just walking the dog. Yes. Yep, it's too hot for dogs. Too hot for dogs during the day. Good morning, Xenia. Guten Morgen. It's hot in northern Germany too. On my way to the sea on the train. That sounds like a perfect day. Angela, actually had summer here in Pendle these last couple of days. Yes, finally summer has arrived. Good morning, Dawn from Texas. Now, I'm assuming you're all very warm there as well. Good morning, Charlie. Sephora, got caught out waiting on your YouTube page, but you've come up on the Kitchen Witch site. Okay, so I am now streaming live to my author Facebook page, the Kitchen Witch Emporium Facebook page, my YouTube channel, and the Kitchen Witch YouTube channel. So 4 locations. There is no escape. Wherever you turn, there I am. So all of those, any of those, should all hopefully work well. Janet, we've had some hot days in Ohio. It is finally summer, I think, isn't it? Jane, gutted I missed last week's talk, love divination. Got confused with the days. Oh, I get confused. I had to stop and think whether it was actually Friday this morning. Yeah, the days just kind of meld into one, really, don't they? Good morning, Karen. Xenia, 4 times Rachel live stream. Yeah, sorry about that. Yep, there is no escape. Doesn't matter where you turn. Good morning, Kerry from Sunny Clonelly, from Kerry and Ebony. Beautiful doggies, beautiful doggy. But yeah, weather's too warm for dogs at the moment. It's too warm for humans, let alone dogs. You know, we'll complain, whatever it's like. So my clever watch has just buzzed to tell me that I'm live on my YouTube channel. It's a very helpful watch. Thank you very much for that. Wouldn't have known otherwise. Sephora, bar humbug, winter here, sitting next to the fire with a cup of chai. That sounds perfect too, actually, Sephora. Emma's got a hot day too. Yeah, Bessie's feeling hot and she's in front of the fan. Oh, bless her. No sunbathing for Bessie. No, it is too. Eric likes to lay outside on the patio, but I think it's even too hot for him at the moment. Sue, good evening from a wet New Zealand. It is your winter, so we will, you know, Mother Nature obviously does know what she's doing on occasion. Hannah, here at the chat, I'm wondering the Mononbrecken Canal tech is amazing. Oh, isn't it? Isn't it? That sounds brilliant too. Good morning, Melanie. Yes, myself and the girls were planning some jollies out wandering places that we want to go, places that we'd like to see. That England has so many beautiful beautiful places to visit. So if anyone's got any suggestions for Kitchen Witch Jollies, let us know. We've got a list. We've got a growing list. I think Dartmoor might be the next one. But if anyone's got any suggestions, we'd love to hear them. Good morning, Steve. Have a great day, full moon Sunday. Yes, it is sunshine. I'm going to try and work, but it's warm. Kerry, Ebony came into season yesterday and she's got a doggy nappy. Oh, bless her. Oh, poor thing. Yeah, don't know the feeling anymore, but bless her. So I've intentionally waffled for a few minutes because it seems that YouTube's taking a little while to catch up. Hopefully. Jalala, Dartmoor is wonderful. Used to live there. I do. I love anything with a moor in it. I am not a forest witch. I love nature, obviously. I'm not a forest witch. I am an open moors witch. The whole Sherlock Holmes Hand of the Baskerville thing, perfect for me. Highgate Cemetery. Yes, Ness was talking about that. Ness has been there. Yes, that's definitely on the list as well. Yeah, we have got a growing list of things to do. We want to go fossil hunting as well. So that's, Charmouth, Lyme Regis is on the list too. Charlie, St Nectan's Glen. Yes, I've been there. Beautiful place. Good morning, Trudy. Sephora, Wuthering Heights window rattling witch. Yeah. So today's theme, I have no idea where it's going to take us. When I was thinking about what to talk about this week, it depends what I'm doing. So last week was divination because we launched our Kitchen Witch readings. Unsubtle plug. We were inundated, absolutely inundated. Thank you so much to everyone that booked a reading with us. We have caught up now. So that's been great fun. But that was the prompt for the talk last week. So it depends what I'm doing or what I'm writing about. But this week, nothing kind of came to mind till yesterday. And the thoughts of liminal spaces, boundaries, and the circle came into my mind. I have no idea where it's going to take us, but I thought it might be an interesting subject for us to talk about. So, liminal spaces. What do you see as a liminal space? Boundaries. Could be personal boundaries, but I was thinking more magical boundaries. Do you put a circle in place when you work spells? Do you put a circle in place for anything else other than ritual? Do you use the circle as protection, or do you use it for sacred space? How do you work in liminal spaces? Do you work on the other side of the hedge? That's the subject today. So any thoughts about liminal spaces, the circle and how it works, where you work it, when you work with it? That's the subject. We'll see where it takes us. Angela, Bronte Country with moors up this way. Very well. That sounds perfect for us. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Luna. Jalala, Normandy, only across the water. Are we? Good morning, Angela. Internet playing up. Ugh, not fun. Right, let's get some of these up. Jane, if you want to go fossil hunting, there's a sand pit in Applewood that's got shark's teeth in it. It's nice. Not sure if one has to get permission. Still accessible. I must admit, Charmouth is the one for me for fossil hunting. Amazing beach. Beautiful part of the country too. Now here's an interesting one. Hannah, bridges I consider liminal. Yes. Do you know, that isn't the first thing that would spring to mind for me, but yes, that's perfect, isn't it? And now I'm thinking of trolls and under the bridge, the Billy Goat Gruff. But yes, absolutely. I think of bridges as well when I work with crossroads, because bridges often form a crossroads because the bridge will cross a river or a road or a pathway. So I consider bridges crossroads. But yes, liminal as well would make sense. I'm assuming everyone is familiar with the term liminal, just in case. Liminal is that in-between space. It is where the bridge crosses a road. It is where the ocean meets the shore. If you are familiar with the Labyrinth film, and if you aren't, why not? David Bowie and his codpiece, need I say more? If you are familiar with that film, you will note that the goblins hide in the doorway, because the doorway is a liminal space. It's an in-between space. It's an in-between space between two rooms. So it is a liminal space. Times are liminal spaces. Dusk is a liminal time because it is in between daylight and nighttime. Liminal means in between spaces. When I hedge ride, and we've talked about hedge riding, there is a talk on YouTube if you want to watch it. When I hedge ride, I go over the hedge. It's a liminal space. A hedge is a boundary in between fields physically, but also a boundary between our world and the other worlds. The same as when you cast a circle. When you cast a circle for ritual, you are creating a liminal space inside of that circle. It is your connection to the other world. You create a liminal space. Very special liminal spaces, but they can be found all over the place. Do love the idea of a bridge. Hadn't thought about that. Lots of comments. Let's go back. Charlie, the edge of our back garden at the end. Oh, yes, where it met the end of the neighbour's back garden. Felt liminal space as a child. Yes. I used to go round to my friend Emma's house. Emma Mackenzie, if you're out there. Her birthday was the day before mine. So I'm 31st of October. She was 30th of October. So we considered ourselves witches. And we were at first school, so we were quite young. I remember playing quite a lot at the end of her garden. At the end of her garden, it was quite a long garden. It was all trees. And we would be in that space and we would mix mud potions and leaves and twigs and chuck everything into old pots and stir them with spoons and things, making our magical potions. Yes, that was a very liminal space. Yeah, I'm loving these. There's 2 ideas I hadn't thought of. Brilliant. Love it. Melanie, good morning. Cambrian Hills in North Wales. There are lots of or seem to be lots of new festivals and conferences, pagan conferences coming up in Wales. Just in case anyone wants to invite me. Jalala, have a circle in an alder grove in the garden. Always sit there to meditate, usually facing north, earth, and the most magical time to go there. It's the liminal time of dusk. Perfect. Oh, look. Thank you.
The reflection, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool.
I know which side you want it.
Thank you very much.
Just to warn you all, she's grumpy.
Yeah, I haven't slept well the last
Very grumpy.
I'm smiling.
You are.
Yeah, I haven't slept well. It's too hot for tea. I have iced coffee. Yum. Delish. Anyway, sorry. Slightly distracted. Groves of trees. Yes, we used to do open rituals up at Kiwi Country Park, and we had a grove of yew trees and a grove of beech trees right next to it. Very liminal spaces. Love it. Zephora, spent a lot of childhood playing poo sticks on bridges. Yeah, I still do that now. Charlie, I thought of trolls too. Bridges and trolls, yeah, they go hand in hand, don't they? Maybe the liminal spaces, how they come through. Well, could be, couldn't it? Could be. Steve, liminal space for me is Southsea Beach. Oh, I'm with you, totally with you. Where the land meets the sea, especially at night, very magical. We are very lucky to live 5 minutes drive from Southsea Beach. And it is your traditional British seaside beach front. It's got piers, it's got fish and chip shops, it's got tons of seagulls. Love seagulls. So it's not a beautiful beach in Cornwall that's deserted and it's just, Pirates of the Caribbean ships sailing past. It is a traditional British seafront, but it's my ocean. It is the ocean where I feel a really, really strong connection to. I've been to all sorts of beautiful beaches in various countries. They're all beautiful. They're not my beach, my ocean is South Sea Beach. There is something for me very, very special about that. And it is pebbly, it's stony, no sand. Yay. I don't like sandy beaches. It's perfect. And it is very, very special place. Yep, I'm with you on that one, Steve. Angela, when trees form natural archways into a clearing in the woods. Yes, perfect. They do, don't they? You find Mother Nature does provide those kind of little tunnels almost, aren't they? Perfect, perfect. Oh, now there's an interesting one. Eyelids. Could it be a liminal space? Yeah. Well, I guess your whole mind behind your eyelids takes you off into other places, doesn't it? I love it. We come up with some brilliant, I say you come up with some brilliant ideas. I just waffle. You guys throw all the information in. Jane, the 2 circles I go to are held in a couple of old manor houses, haunted as heck, and great for contacting and channeling spirit. We raise lots of energy, and spirit just starts queuing up to get in. One of the houses has a bar downstairs, and the energy raised from an England match turned the place into a battery. Brilliant. Had a brilliant evening with the spirit board. Any way of raising energy, and football fans, brilliant at raising energy. We were in our little cafe on Sunday morning, and there were a group of chaps in there, obviously having their big fry up before they spent the day in the pub before the England match, and they were all dressed as crusaders. They had fake chainmail on and the big white St. George's cross on the front and the little they looked absolutely fabulous. The energy from them was amazing. Lots of different ways to raise energy, certainly. Karen, above ground and below ground, where the tree roots go. The world tree. It is above and below, isn't it? There's the equal amount of branches above the trunk, and then the roots, equal amount of roots below, in between. Yeah, I would even say the trunk, really, because you have the above and the below. So the in between places, the trunk. Trees are coming up, aren't they? That's got to be a lot of liminal energy there. Hannah, entrances. There was a woodland park where I used to live, and walking through the gates felt like walking into another realm. I find that as well, walking through cemetery or graveyard gates, even churchyard gates as well, I guess. There is something, the energy changes, doesn't it? As you walk through that gateway, the energy changes. Very liminal. Now, there's an interesting point. Xenia, I think the internet is a liminal space. Yeah. I can see that. And the craft and magic and everything that we work with has to move with the times. We don't have to, but I think it should. So I work magic with the internet, with phones. Yeah, so why not think of the internet as liminal space? Perfect. Good morning, Leslie. Jalala, there is a saying in Gestalt therapy that the work takes place in the space between the therapist and the client. Okay, yep. Like to think of this as happening in most transactions between people, animals, plants, etc. Imagine we are different coloured clouds of glitter, and our interactions take place in the place that the glitter merges. Now, I like that way of thinking. Yeah, that makes sense. And who doesn't love a bit of glitter? Just who doesn't? I like that. Yep, I like that. Angela, the hole in the wall in the film. Oh, Stardust, good film. Is a great example of a liminal space. Hole in the boundary between two worlds. Yes. Holes in the wall. Well, walls themselves are boundaries, aren't they? So a hole in the wall would create, yes, a liminal space. Liminal, yeah. Good film. Very good film. Yeah, sorry, Emma. Grumpy Rachel. Not a lot of sleep makes me grumpy. But I'm still smiling. I haven't killed anybody yet. Good morning, Joy. Xenia, I struggle with the internet connectivity, but it's because of the German internet signal. Okay. I'm surprised because Germany is usually very efficient with things, aren't they? Angela, I used to lie on a fallen tree over a spring on the way home from school. It felt like a magical space in the middle of the spinney. That sounds incredibly magical. So a fallen tree over a spring would form the bridge, wouldn't it? So it would be a crossroads. So it would be a liminal space. Perfect. Jalal, I mean, technically the internet is liminal space. That brings you to us on Fridays. Yes, it crosses a void, doesn't it? It connects a void. Ah, I like that. Hannah, graveyards are life and death, like walking in two worlds at the same time. Would this be considered liminal? I think so. I think graveyards and cemeteries are all liminal spaces. Absolutely. Difference between graveyards and cemeteries, they are two different things. Cemeteries are burial places on their own. Graveyards are burial places joined to a church. It's a useless piece of information for you. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that churches, maybe any kind of religious temple, is a liminal space. No matter what culture or religion, a temple is designed as a place to worship, to connect with otherworldly beings. Would that make it a liminal space? I think so. You do get a feeling, don't you, sometimes when you walk into churches in particular. We like to the Kitchen Witch team always investigates whatever church in where we are. Some like us, some don't. With some of the older ones are incredibly magical places inside. Yeah, I would go with graveyards and churches, temples, all worship, places of worship, liminal spaces. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Kelly. Karen, weeping willow is a great liminal space, like walking through a living curtain. I love willow trees. They are one of my favourite trees. There is, isn't there? That's parting of the willow branches because they drape down, don't they? Yeah, that would work. And willows as well, I associate with emotions, with healing, with all of the headology stuff. So yeah, absolutely. That would work. Yep. Ron, as above, so below. Absolutely. That's where the world tree image, isn't it? As above, so below. Yep. Trudy, waterfalls, especially when you can walk behind them, like the one we have in that place near the Brecon Beacons. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I would not do it justice. The Welsh language is beautiful when spoken properly. With me trying to murder it would be just embarrassing. But waterfalls, yes. You've got the cleansing, purifying energy of water. You've got the energy the waterfall creates because of the movement of the water. Yes, and that space behind between the water and the rock or the land. Yeah, that would work. That would work. Sephora, something about being on a swing. Okay, which is quite liminal and slightly comforting. Yeah, swinging backwards and forwards. Haven't done that for a while. Probably wouldn't try it. I'd probably get my butt stuck in the swing. But yes, I see where you're coming from. Karen, caves. Oh, I can see I'll be doing some work on liminal spaces this weekend. It is a fascinating subject. I the whole idea of it. And even this morning, we've only been talking for, a little while, and people have come up with ideas that I hadn't thought of. So hopefully you're all getting inspiration from this. That would be fabulous. Caves. Yes, caves. Not a big fan of caves. Don't really like being under all of that rock. We went to Cheddar Gorge. We went in the Wookie Hole Caves a long while back now. I hated every minute of it. It was all of that thought of all that rock above my head. In my very, very young days, in my early 20s, I did go potholing. Couldn't wait to get out. What a bizarre thing for human beings to do. Let's just tie you on a rope and send you down this really small hole in the rock. You've got to crawl on your belly, and you've got all this rock above you and all this rock below you and around you. And yeah, that was not a nice experience. Maybe I was buried alive at some point, I don't know, in the past. No, not big fan of being under all that rock, but there is something magical about caves. Yes, definitely. Some dragons live in caves, obviously. Quite often with the stories of the old crone, the old hag witch, will be based around caves. Definitely something magical about caves, absolutely. Jane, some churches when you go in feel like there's no one at home, but some feel very liminal. Can't explain what makes a difference. Oh, absolutely. Each one has its own unique character anyway, because they are buildings and each building has its own energy, but they will also hold on to the memories of everything that's happened there before. And there is, yeah, each church definitely has its own feeling. And I know what you mean. Some of them feel quite empty. Yeah. Fascinating places. Angela, we started plans to make a moon door out of an old huge cartwheel. There's a liminal space to a magical spot in our garden, but it's gone on hold as we're going to sell up and move. Oh yeah, don't do all that work if you're going to move. Save it for the next place. Brilliant idea though. Love that idea. That would look fabulous. Good morning, Candy. Yep, Candy's voting for cemeteries too. Yeah, definitely. Cemeteries and graveyards. Magical places. Definitely liminal spaces. Emma. Stargate. Stargate Atlantis. One of my favourite TV series ever. It is in my top 3. Stargate Atlantis. Perfect. Has a circle. I haven't got my phone up here. My phone has the Stargate gate on the front on the screen. Link between worlds. Yes. Quite, yeah. And it's a circle. If you haven't seen Stargate or Stargate Atlantis, it is a circle. And it is literally a gateway to other worlds. We're back to the circle again, actually, aren't we? The circle creating that gateway to step into other worlds, that gateway into liminal space. One of the reasons why we cast the circle for ritual. Yeah, I love Stargate. Hello. Oh, thank you. Oh, look, see, I've got Stargate on my phone screen. Yeah, it is a circle, and it's a gateway to the other worlds. I love Stargate. Melanie, I live near to Devil's Gorge. That sounds fabulous. Large cave. To get there, I have to cross from a road into woodland, then cross a bridge over a stream, out of the trees into the open, then into the cave. Oh, that's a journey and a half, isn't it? All those liminal spaces, all those chances to release stuff as you go. Fabulous. Love it. Jane, archways in gardens that are completely filled with a big old wooden door look like they are portals to another world. I think it's why so many meditations begin with a gate or a doorway in a brick wall. You are opening that doorway, aren't you? That the brick wall or the fence is the boundary. It is the boundary between those two worlds, and the door or the gate opens that boundary so that you can enter into liminal space. Lots of meditations start like that, and there's a reason for it. It's perfect. Xenia, Germany isn't efficient anymore, to be honest, especially we missed out on information technology. That's very sad. I fell in love with Germany, Xenia. Don't crush my dreams. I thought Germany was a beautiful, beautiful place, and the people were so lovely. I fell in love with it. Don't trash my dreams. Charlie, hedgerows sometimes feel liminal, magical. Always, always, always. My local park, being a row of trees at the edge of the park, there's a space tucked away behind there that feels liminal. As a hedge witch that does hedge riding, the hedgerow to me is an incredibly magical space. It is another boundary. The hedgerows are boundaries between the fields, so they protect each field. The hedgerow provides home to so many different creatures, birds, insects, animals of all sorts. It is a very, very magical space. And when I hedge ride, I go across that hedge into another world. Definitely liminal spaces. Definitely. Xenia, wells. Oh, yes. No, that's an interesting one. Don't come across wells very often these days. But yes, you've got the well down into the earth below the surface. So we're going up as above, so below. And water. Very liminal. Yeah, perfect. Charlie, stone circles, dolmens, some more than others feel liminal. I think stone circles, who knows why they were put up? We don't really know. But you would have to assume they were a worship or an honouring of some sort. But it's a circle again, stone circles, forming that circle to create that special place inside of it. Stonehenge, I'm sure I've mentioned before, been very honoured to go inside on occasion. It's lost it for me. It's had too many visitors and party people and all sorts. Somewhere like Avebury, much nicer. There's a stone circle on Dartmoor. Beautiful. It's only tiny. Beautiful energy within there. So yeah, I think stone circles and dolmens, of course, probably built for honouring the dead. So there's a definite sacred energy to them. Yeah, absolutely. Jodie, if walls are boundaries and holes in walls are liminal spaces, then doors and windows could be liminal spaces too. They are, absolutely. We're back to the Labyrinth film now, where the goblins stood in the doorways. All doorways, all windows, liminal spaces. Absolutely. Good morning, Mark. Hannah, stairs. Oh, people are coming up with some brilliant ideas this morning. Stairs as a liminal space. Yes. They take you from one level to another, don't they? Oh, and under the stairs. Under the stairs, it's got to be a liminal space, isn't it? Not just for Harry Potter. Yeah, I like that idea. And actually, we use stairs in meditation quite a lot too, don't we? To take us down into that meditative state and then to bring us back out again. Stairs. Love it. Karen, when we cast our circle. Yes, whenever you cast a circle, generally in ritual, I don't tend to cast a circle for spell casting when I'm at home because I'm protected anyway. But when I'm in ritual, I always cast a circle. Tend to do it in a slightly different way to the regular casting a circle. But I create a compass circle anyway. But circle, protection from energy outside, protection to keep your energy raised inside. But creating that circle is making a liminal space between the worlds. Yes, absolutely. Karen, dusk is a liminal time. Yes, that point in the day when day becomes evening, just that bit in between. I think dawn as well. Not that I see dawn as much as I see dusk, but depends what time of year it is. Yeah, dusk and dawn, definitely liminal places. Brilliant times to work magic. That's my phone notification. So let's turn the sound off. And for anyone that is a Stargate fan, that was Jack from Stargate SG1. Sephora. I think under my bed is a liminal space. It's there, but it's many things. A place to hide, a place for dust bunnies, attacking cats, and missing socks. I used to be terrified of the space under my bed. Until I was quite old. I would check under the bed before I went to bed, just in case. I don't know what I was expecting to find there. I don't know. But yes, yeah, that's an under place, isn't it? Yeah, I go with that. As long as there's nothing creepy under there. Kelly, primary school, I would spend every break time leaning against a large oak tree that was wonky. It felt like a space out of time and very comforting. I think we are here. I think it's the trees, isn't it? There is something very liminal about trees. They are below, they are above, they are in between. Yes, definitely. And The tree image is used quite a lot for journeying. It's also used for head riding on occasion. It is a good visual point for entering into the other worlds. Jalala, don't watch the movie. I don't watch anything that's creepy. Definitely don't watch anything that's creepy. And being in coma is a liminal human state of being. Interesting. Yes. Who knows what goes through your head when you're in that kind of state? I guess as well that kind of in between state when you're just coming out of sleep to awake, that's a liminal space as well. Xenia. Neglected places in towns where wild plants overgrow rusting structures and thistles are growing. Sad places, think. Definitely sad places. And stone circles. Yeah, we love stone circles. Jodie, I experienced an Aboriginal healing ceremony on the weekend. Well, I bet that was amazing. Circle was created with a smoking pit in the center. The energy was so high, it was obviously a liminal space. Circles create those spaces. There is something very, very special about a circle. Sue, when you finish at Cheddar, drive up to Priddy and visit the Hunter's Pub. No mobiles, no music, no money grabbing machines, sheer bliss. That does sound like sheer bliss. That sounds perfect. Karen. The beach and the sea. Yeah. Liminal space. Perfect liminal space. Xenia. Tend to put Stargate wallpaper on my workplace computer when I want to leave that department. It works. I have a pagan gateway wallpaper on my phone at the moment. Yeah, it's a gateway. It's a circle. It's an entry point, but don't forget that the circle is also a leaving point as well, and doors as well. We walk through into liminal spaces, but we walk back out of them again as well. Cliffs, they are the end of the land, aren't they? Between that and the water. Yes, that would work. Jane, where I'm currently sitting with a PC is a stonking great portal that goes up through the house. I sleep in it too, and it continues through the loft. All of that space feels a bit different to the rest of the house, and it's easy to get lost in it. It links with dreamland and cyberspace, which might explain why I lose track of time in those places. I think those liminal spaces are a different reality. The energy definitely changes. If you have created a good circle for your ritual, if you have created a good space for hedge riding or going over into other worlds, the energy changes. When you walk into places, like we mentioned with the churches, cemeteries, graveyards, you walk in there and you feel the energy change. That's the liminal space. Candy, when I was little, I played in the ditches next to the road. It was between our fields and the road. They always felt special. Yeah. A between space, between the road, between the land. Yeah, that works. Jane, fireplaces, chimneys and stairwells are just asking for us to make connection with the other worlds. I've got a fireplace in our living room, and for me that is, I use it as an altar sometimes because it has got that liminal energy to it. But I think that the hearth used to be the heart and center of the home too. It was where everything happened, so it was also a focal point. Yeah, I would go with that. Fireplaces, chimneys. Then Avebury has another purpose than Stonehenge. I love Avebury. If I had a choice of going to Stonehenge or Avebury, I would go to Avebury. I think the energy there is much, much nicer. And it's free. Kerry. Lifts. Yeah. Not somewhere you would normally think of as a liminal space, but yes, you enter through doors. The doors close behind you. You go up or down between different levels. That would make liminal space. Yep. Jalala, REM sleep, between the awake and the deep sleep. Yes, I think the different phases of sleep, some of those are definitely liminal. It's interesting. I have one of these funky watches that records your sleep, and it tells you how much REM sleep you've had and how many times you're awake. Quite a lot in the last couple of days. It's really interesting to see how much deep sleep you have compared to how much REM sleep and light sleep. Interesting. Very interesting. Good morning, Maria. Hope your day gets better. Kerry, river beaches, edges of the sea. Yeah, for me, I think one of the most liminal spaces is the beach and the water. But I am a big fan of hedges as well, hedgerows. Angela, looking into a mirror can seem like seeing into another world, like through the looking glass. Oh, I love Alice in Wonderland. One of my favourite books. Yes, I mean, mirrors, you can work so much magic with mirrors. There's a whole thing on mirror magic. There's so many different things you can do with it. But they are and have been traditionally quite creepy, spooky, spiritual things. There was a tradition not so long ago, only a few hundred years, of hanging a cloth over a mirror when someone died because you didn't want their spirit to come through. If you read the Terry Pratchett books, he talks about mirror magic with Granny Weatherwax and her sister, and that there's a connection there between the mirrors. Very magical. But yes, absolutely otherworld places. Jane, when I was little, I wouldn't let my arm hang out the bed in case a goblin grabbed it. Jane, I don't do that now. Oh, no, can't keep, no, get your arm back in. No, don't. There's stuff out the side of the bed. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, Maria still does as well. I'm not alone. Jackie, cats seem to find liminal spaces, doorways instead. Yeah, I think cats and dogs, cats probably more so, are very aware of otherworldly stuff. Small children too. Sephora, worked at a dentist and they'd give twilight sedation. People awake but not aware. Very weird. Yeah. Drugs, man. Yes, I can remember younger having to be, I'll say, put out by a dentist. That's not quite the right word, is it? They don't seem to do that so much anymore. Mark, when I was working night shifts during spring and autumn, the shift would finish a little before dawn. Used to go to a nearby wharf to watch the sunrise over the water. Very magical place for me. Felt very liminal. Yeah. I mean, liminal because of dawn being the in-between time between night and day, and liminal because of the water and the land. Perfect. Sounds beautiful. Channel tunnel. Now, there's something that I wouldn't have thought of. Have been on the Eurostar several times through the Channel Tunnel. It's not very interesting. It's just black. But there is that sense. I find it quite oppressive. We're back to being under loads of water and rock and stuff now. Yeah, there's too much stuff above me for that. But it's an in-between space. It's in between two countries. It's above land, below water. Yeah, that would work. Liminal space. Marilyn, we have a wonderful old oak tree which is absolutely magical with incredible energy in Misterly Woods. That sounds very magical. Just the name of it. It has a book written about it, and he's called Old Knobbly. Oh, bless, about 800 years old. Feels liminal around him. I think trees. We're back to tree. I keep getting tree signs. ever since Heather and I did a talk about tree magic at Pagan Tribal Gathering, I have had so many tree prompts. It's unreal. But I think we are. Yes, trees in general, I think, are liminal, aren't they? Karen, I love watching the sunrise and sunset. They are wonderful, magical moments. Not that I see the sunrise very often, although in the summer months I do tend to keep one of the blinds open in the bedroom so that I can watch the moon and see daylight as it arrives. Very important point from Hannah. Wise as always. Liminal spaces can give a good or bad feeling. Yeah, it's definitely worth remembering that, isn't it? We've been talking about liminal spaces as magical places for stepping into the other worlds, for doing your meditation, for journeying, for whatever, working in magic. But yes, there are some liminal spaces that won't feel right. Trust your intuition. If it feels hinky, back on out of there. Wise words, Hannah. Thank you for that. Maria bought an earthing sheet. Not sure why. I know how to ground. Yeah, we have tools at our fingertips. We don't always remember to use them. And I've been having mad dreams this week. Okay, today was a mini course you were hosting with a special guest that Jasmine attended, but it ended up being about Eddie Fate. The tagline on the email was Yowl. Okay, not a particular course that I'm thinking of running. I think dreams are interesting. I think they are best interpreted by the person who dreamt them, because I think they're very personal. What I might see from that might not be what you see, but obviously the earthing sheet is giving you some interesting prompts. Does the earthing sheet work though, other than giving you weird dreams? Emma, the universe, the big unknown between us and something out there, may be a liminal place too. Now we're going really big. We started with bridges. Now we're going to the universe. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Melanie, I used to visit a small nature reserve and it had a very clear line that when crossed, it felt unwelcoming. The area was an old rubbish dump with all the waste decaying deep beneath your feet. Liminal. Sad. But yeah, I would say so. Two different places. The beauty of of nature doing its thing, and then all of this old trash dumped there. Yeah, not pleasant. But nature does have a way of helping it all recycle, so hopefully it was doing its thing. Karen, drumming can take you to another place. Oh yes, absolutely. When I play my flute, I feel I'm in another place. Music, I think that's the rhythm and the music of it, isn't it, that takes you into that liminal space. Rhythm, vibrations. Yep. Angela, some lifts you go in one side and out the other feels even more liminal. Yes, quite often at airports and things like that, isn't it? You go in one set of doors and you stand there facing them, and then they open and it's behind you. Yeah, been there, done that. Yes, takes you to a completely different place. Janet, cracks in the sidewalk could be a magical space. Yeah. Now I'm thinking of the A.A. Milne poem about not walking on the lines on the pavement because of the bears. I wouldn't. As a child, I never walked on the lines or cracks in the pavement. It was probably because of that A.A. Milne poem. Yeah. Taking you from this world down below to the earth beneath. Yeah, that works. So my gran would hang a cloth over a mirror during a thunderstorm. So many things that our grandparents and great-grandparents did that were just matter of fact. They did it because that's what you did. But they're all got folk magic connections to them. Zephora, I have a mirror off the set of Xenia Warrior Princess. It's not a clear one. Crackle glaze. That's not easy to say. That stays in my she shed as it's odd. Okay. Odd energy. Get out in the she shed. Mirrors. We should do a talk about mirror magic. I'll do a talk about mirror magic. Yeah. I'll add that to the list because mirror magic is fascinating. Jane, twilight sedation sounds like a tramadol. Well, pretty much. I'm assuming that's what it was. Yeah, I don't think they do it so much in dentists these days, but I do remember it must have had tooth extracted or something as a child, and I do remember laying in the dentist chair being completely spaced out. Yeah. Angela, love Pratchett. Oh, all hell. There's Granny Weatherwax. She's up there watching over me. My daughter drew that. And of course, Great Atuin, the turtle. He's up there too. All hail Sir Terry Pratchett. Granny Weatherwax is my idol. She is who I want to be when I grow up. But then Pratchett understood liminal spaces. He understood paganism. He understood witchcraft. He understood the fairy world. A lot of his stories have liminal spaces in them. And a lot of his stories talk about going into the other worlds. He nailed it. Sue, Channel Tunnel. I would rather watch paint dry, but it's fast. It is very easy to get from A to B, or to get from, England to France. Very efficient. Yes, very efficient. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Sue. See the sunrise nearly every day. It's called bladder clock. Yeah, it's rubbish being an old lady in that. Not that you are, I meant me. Jalala, liminal spaces that don't feel nice. The stairs, lifts, and the London Underground packed full. I think any space that's got lots of people in it is uncomfortable. If you are a spiritual person, then you are used to working with energy. So any space like the Underground is not going to make you feel comfortable. The girls always laugh at me. Whenever we go up to London, I insist we get taxis because I'm not going in the Underground. I used to work in London, and I used to use the Underground a lot, and I hated every moment of it. There is something very oppressive about being underground. And then you bring in all the people. Although, having said that, we've been to Paris a couple of times and used the metro, and it was wonderful. So, yeah, I don't know what it is about the London Underground. I'm with you on that. But I think that's, for a lot of us, it is just lots of people. It's uncomfortable. Jane, watching the curtains close around Artie's coffin at the Creme on Tuesday made the little space she was in suddenly feel very liminal. Oh, blessings and hugs to you, Jane. Yeah, I'm not having a funeral. I've already stated that. I think funerals are miserable. They shouldn't be happy, obviously, but I think they are horrible things. And I think they are ridiculously expensive. So I have told my family I'm not having a funeral. Put me in the oven. Take me home in a little cardboard box and, scatter me in the ocean or on the beach. That'd be lovely. I think it is that closing of curtains, isn't it? I think for me that is it's all very bizarre. Crematorium places are very bizarre. But I would guess they kind of come under that cemetery graveyard thing. They are an in-between place between life and the other world. So that would make sense. Kelly, we're going camping today just outside of York. Oh, yes, York's on our list. It's traditional camping, no electricity. I'm excited to sit under the stars without distraction. I find laying down looking up magical. I love the idea of all of that. I have done that in Girls Brigade when I was a teenager. We camped natural. I will not do it now. I need my ensuite. I need my bathroom. But it is, yes, laying down under the sky at nighttime. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. Have fun. I'm sure you will have fun. Good morning, Eve. Maria messages. Yeah, dreams are personal. So jot down, if you have a dream and it's quite strong, jot down the main points of it and then come back to it a few days later and see if you can make sense of it. Angela, every time we go into meditation, we are entering liminal space. Yes, absolutely. We are entering that other place. Emma, as a child, I was told, step on a crack will break your back. That's an old saying, isn't it? So I avoided all the lines on the pavements. Yep. Angela, attics and cellars can feel out of time. Yes. We have an attic, a loft, as we call it, because it's a loft, I guess. A loft. Different space, isn't it? It's usually it's part of the house, but it isn't part of the house. And I guess the same with basements and cellars. They are a part of the house, but not. Yeah. And usually stairs to get to them. Well, always stairs, I guess, because otherwise, how would you get there? Slide. Stairs. So stairs brings in the liminal too. Some brilliant ideas. Brilliant ideas. Sephora, we are lucky next door to park where you walk up to waterfall at dusk and then walk back with glowworms lighting your way back. That sounds truly magical. Xenia, I find the London Underground tube uncomfortable too. The DLR is better. Tend to walk and use the bus. I think there is a thing about being above ground, isn't there? It feels more comfortable than being under the ground. And now I'm thinking about Wombles. So you have to be of a certain age. And I do hope you're all singing Wombles of Wimbledon going underground now. Or maybe it should be the Jam going underground. That's a bit cooler, isn't it, than the Wombles? Most of you will be going, what is she talking about? Jane, talking of watching paint dry, okay, I must prime some boards today. We're doing spirit board at dusk and had trouble seeing what we were doing. It was the same for spirit. So the boards I'm making are going to be high-vis acid yellow with very bold black lettering with umpteen layers of yacht varnish to help the planchette glide. Wish me luck. Glow in the dark spirit boards. Love it. Yeah, hadn't thought about that. Doing it in the dark. Yeah. Oh, we need to know how you get on with that. Marks for Wombles. Wombles over the Jam. It's my age. Yeah, Emma's singing the Wombles song now. That is your earworm for today. The Wombles of Wimbledon. Yeah. Not quite as funky as going underground by the Jam, but yeah. Karen, I love walking through the caravan site in Cornwall. Cornwall's a magical place anyway, isn't it? On my way back from Temple, it's so dark, just moon and stars and the reflection of the moon over the sea and the lights of the odd tiny fishing boat. It's like being in a different place at night. I think you've got, when you are by the ocean at that time of the night too, dusk by the ocean, very, very magical, very liminal space. Maria, always feel weird on the DLR. It must have a different energy. Always glad to get off. It's underground, isn't it? I think it's the underground thing. That's for yes. Be mindful of varnishing and not breathing it in. Getting high on varnish might be a liminal space, but not a healthy one. That was fascinating. I had no idea where it was going to take us, but it took us to some really interesting places. All those different liminal ideas, so many that I hadn't thought of. Stairs, brilliant. Just so many different places. I am going to have to go back and note them all down because that was fascinating. I think it is what it means to you, and I think it is. The world is magical, and it is about finding those spaces that you find magical. But anything in between is a liminal space. And in those liminal spaces, we didn't even cover this, what you do in those liminal spaces, you can step through to the other world. You can use them as visualizations for your meditations, for your journeying. They are where you can work magic. Liminal. Brilliant place. Brilliant place. So thank you so much for joining me. Do check the Kitchen Witch website, my own website, for the what's on. We have got a dryad ritual coming up at the end of the month, open to everyone. That's going to be brilliant. Ness and Heather have done a fantastic job with that one. We are doing readings now, online readings. So have a look at the website and the shop to have a look at information on that. All three of us reading for you at the same time. I'll quote one of our reviews. It's like spiritual Charlie's Angels, which is brilliant. Lots going on. We're going to be at lots of stuff as well. So have a look at the events and see where we're at and what we're doing. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope the sun stays shining for those of you in this side of the globe. And I hope it's not too chilly for you, those of you on the other side of the globe. Thank you all. Karen, can I ask that everyone sends healing to the Hamadryads? They really need it, please. Absolutely. We are working with dryads in the Kitchen Witch open ritual at the end of the month as well. So got to look after those trees and their spirits. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all again next week.